Raise your hand if you remember what you had for breakfast last Friday. Normally we're drawing a blank. That's completely okay. We look at that as a minor annoyance, but imagine walking into your kitchen, blinking, and you have no idea what year it is, where you live, and what happened 5 minutes ago. The neuroscientist simply goes away. Oh. Blink right. Normally we look at that as a minor everyday annoyance, but imagine walking into your kitchen suddenly and having absolutely no idea what year it is, where you live, and what you did 5 minutes ago. We live in a world focused on minor memory slips, but neuroscientists study what happens when our memory temporarily goes away. Sometimes a glitch in our brain goes beyond normal forgetfulness and crosses into a medical mystery. A temporary neurological condition that completely unplugs our ability to form new memories. To be honest, I've always had a hard time with memory, and it's caused me a lot of stress, especially in school. But learning about the ways the brain can suddenly malfunction has completely changed my perspective on how fragile yet fascinating our brain health really is. Today I'm going to teach you about a rare medical anomaly known as transient global amnesia, or TGA. We will explore the symptoms of this temporary memory wipeout, the random physical triggers that cause the syndrome, and what happens inside the brain during a TGA attack. We've all experienced the doorway effect, when you walk into a room and you have no idea what you went in there for or why. But TGA is like the doorway effect, except on steroids. The sudden memory loss can strike a perfectly healthy individual. According to the Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment, researchers have found that TGA leaves a patient with short-term memory loss. For about 4 to 8 hours, their attention span is reduced to about a few minutes. Because they cannot retain any new information, they act in a state of confusion, asking the same questions: where am I, what's happened, every single minute with the same exact tone, unaware of what they just asked. While the symptoms mimic a stroke, the triggers behind the syndrome are unusual and entirely physical. You might think a severe memory disorder would require a heavy head injury or a chemical imbalance. However, TGA is classified as a syndrome because of its symptoms uniquely brought on by sudden environmental stressors rather than an underlying disease. In a study tracking the causes of these attacks, neuroscience have discovered that TGA episodes are frequently triggered by sudden or physical and emotional jolts. The most common is jumping into cold or hot water. Another is physical exertion, such as heavy weightlifting, or experiencing or emotional receiving devastating news or experiencing a trauma. How bizarre is it that thousands of people can jump into a cold pool or lift weights every day, yet they experience this event? The sudden change of temperature or emotional stress causes a spike in blood pressure and a surge of adrenaline. Psychologists, to understand how a splash of cold water can affect a person's afternoon, you have to look at the neurological hardware being disrupted. Think of your brain's memory center, the hippocampus, as a computer saving mechanism. If you're typing a document before the power cuts, and the power cuts before you hit save, the data's gone forever. During the TGA, your brain is temporarily save button is broken. Scientists, March, using high specialized MRI scans on patients during an active attack, his team proved that TGA creates a temporary metabolic crisis localized exactly within the CA1 neurons of the deep hippocampus. Because these specific cells are temporarily starved of energy and blood flow, they completely stop firing. The brain can still access long-term memories, such as they can still remember their name and they can speak perfectly fine, but the machine required to lock into the present moment is completely paralyzed. Fortunately, like a computer restarting, the cells recover within 24 hours, and full memory function returns, leaving only a blank void when the episode occurred. At the end of the day, transient global amnesia reminds us just how complex and delicate our brain health truly is, and it stands an extreme example of how temporary glitch can completely alter our perception of reality.